few comments out of the box, and then my good friend Eric Yaverbaum, who's here, president of Ericho Communications and Tappening.com. Fabulous to see you. The only time I ever really know you are around is when I see you on Twitter.
When you say, well, yeah.
How sad is that?
Well, Twitter is actually
but the government doesn't want Twitter
right
to go down right now. It's protected. It doesn't even want it to go down overnight
that
to
is a huge
maintain
statement.
its site because Iranians are using it as such, such an important.
And what does that say about communications? You know, we've talked about it on the show before. News moves. I watch it over 12 screens. It moves earliest on Twitter on a lot of occasions.
You know what's really
and now
scary
we have
about
history.
you? I am a breaking news anchor for a national network, and I watch things on 12 screens. You just do it because you can. That was really scary to me.
I do have to do it for a living, but it is a hobby, and I am fascinated by the way information is communicated, both effectively and not effectively, both accurately and not accurately.
They should rename your company, just like all communications 24/7, something like that. Wow,
I like to sleep too.
All right, so I want to.
Basically went back about 8 years. They never encountered declining property values. They never encountered some of the very upsetting financial things that happened that created this complete catastrophe. So the models looked like everything was fine. The answer is you need to regulate leverage. That's what it all comes down to.
Until you, I mean, unfortunately, until we get to the bust side of the bubble and
looks
reality, well, yeah, there's euphoria from everybody.
That's true. I didn't hear anybody like 4 years ago going, man, this housing market is awful. What can Congress do?
They can always cut funding. They can always cut funding. They can hold hearings. They can do investigations.
They can gossip about the czars.
But there's some.
They can hold meetings and gossip and hurt their feelings.
Not all the czars are equal. For example.
Not all czars are equal.
That's a great book title.
Thank you for your email. Not all czars are equal.
Like the education czar is
That's
actually Arnie
the quote of
Duncan,
the
the
day.
secretary. Czar is
royalty.
kind of a slang.
Well, czar does kind of sound like royalty.
But czar,
I don't think that's in the official title.
Why did they pick a different word then?
They need a branding guy to get in there and come up with new names.
They
Czar
need
stinks.
you, 'cause czar doesn't
Czar's
make
just
you
bad out of the
think
gate. They lose you at hello.
But to a certain extent, that's a media creation.
It's
because
kind of like
an
global
easy
warming.
thing.
You know, it sounds like a spa treatment. I like global warming with some eucalyptus, please.
But Harris, we don't have global warming anymore because it clearly isn't getting warmer. So actually now we have climate change.
No, but I'm just saying
that
when you're trying to sell these things, you're the marketing genius.
No, I know if I get a phone call from the czar, I don't want to take it. The czar.
I mean, the czar
have to
just
speak
sounds
Russian.
So yeah, I mean,
the old czar, you would want to take it.
Just sounds bad.
I know what they
Negative
could have
connotation.
called them. POTUS's BFFs.
There you go. There you go.
That would be more accurate.
Yeah, best friend forever.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? In Chapter 1 of Not All Czars Are Created Equal, you can cover this topic.
I wrote that down. You
love
you
that.
Know what? You got to write a book entitled "Not All Czars Are Equal."
Just copyright that now.
Okay. Well, you all heard it first here.
Do
you think, Harris, that people are expect to actually learn something? I mean, it seems to me this will be a sales program by the administration.
That's the problem.
Of course.
That's the problem.
That's why they're doing
if the administration would like to hold a sales program, then they should do it without a television network hosting.
But everybody does that. Henry Kissinger had the answers before the questions were even asked. They've always done this in politics. Nobody had a network come into their house like this.
Right.
But the thing that we're hearing, like, again, I don't know where we're hearing all this from. I'd like to know which person who has the data on the audience that we're hearing it from.
Exactly.
But I, on the other hand, I also think, yeah, it's ABC, and no disrespect because I do shows there, but look at the numbers. And every time I sit at any studio or box without a microphone that I just dropped, I say to myself...
You better pick it up because we won't be able to hear you.
I say to myself, this place, where you invite a contrary point of view, has the best numbers. So Fox is reaching the most people.
Yeah.
So all this unfairness and
in fact, ABC really wants to put on a good show. You're saying they ought to listen to the
And my
RNC
guess
and
is
others,
they will,
and
right?
pack up the audience with people who have to. And you think that will happen?
I think
That
they'll have
enough
a balance.
noise is being made before June 24th
And I
for
think
that
to
to
your
happen.
point, Dan, I think the more we talk about it and other people talk about it, they will have to have a balanced audience. So I don't think it's bad to
Because
bring
they'll
this
hope
up.
more people will watch.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm not saying it's
And
bad to
honestly,
bring
I
it
think that's better for the administration as well because I think it looks less like a sales pitch. People do not want to see an hour-long sales pitch to them. They actually want to see a debate, and that could work out better for the
I'm
administration.
seeing the ACA The Affordable Health Choices Act, the ACA.
But it's all, I just feel like this is one of those things, there's a joke about a blind man and something where everything is viewed differently by different, I bet if you took a poll of us 5, we'd all look at this bill totally different.
I bet we wouldn't.
But we would only look at it differently if we actually understood it, and that's the problem with the
I
American
agree.
public.
I was just
You
going to
gotta
say, I bet we
understand it.
wouldn't look at it differently because I don't know that we'd all get it.
Well, the thing is as an employer,
That's
like
what I
this
mean,
is a
though.
big cost for me as an employer.
Is this a good deal for you?
As an employer, it's a good deal for me, yeah.
Is this a good deal for you
on
as
the
a
other
person?
hand, just to say one other thing, I have a chronically ill wife for a decade. I'm very immersed in the entire
Eric, I did
medical
not know
care
that.
of this country. Oh, that's okay. So it's a blessing for my whole family. So I'm very immersed in the entire process for doctors, for patients, and everybody. And it's not really good there. I make enough money to take care of my wife, thank God. And I'm not so sure that it's going to be good for us.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, look at Canada, which is one place that everybody
Look at
looks.
Canada.
Yeah,
Okay.
Look at their healthcare system. Everybody has it. You don't have to worry. And you also wait in a very, very long line. You want to get an MRI, you can wait a month. You want to get an MRI
Same thing in
tomorrow
Britain.
here,
Yeah.
you can.
We
I
If
wanna
you
get
have
an
health
MRI
insurance.
tomorrow.
If you have health insurance.
Right, if you have health insurance.
Can I just have
request?
And when I was a little girl, I never really understood that because you'd be at the mall and they always had cute things in the window. And I was very thin when I was growing up, and I thought,
You
why don't
were surprised.
I was. I was
by
like
that
a
revelation.
rail when I was in high school. And I've made up for it in my 20s. But no, I'd see Lane Bryant at the shopping mall, and I'd think, why don't they tell it like it is? Because I see cute things in the window, and they're never going to fit me because these are for larger women. Those stores, though, I don't see as many of them as I used to. I mean,